Hello everyone, and welcome to your creative looping yoga class with me, Sarah. If you're new to this creativeness, then you're about to be shocked. If you're not new, but you're a teacher and you're thinking, Sarah, I want a sequence like this, check the link below for my teacher training. Now the most important stuff, a few things before we start, is number one, you may want blocks either side of the mat. Number two, if the screen, wherever I am, is in front of your mat, take it towards the side because we will be going from front to back and then from back to front, just so you have an idea of it. This flow is what I call a movement loop. So I'm going to get you warmed up. I'm going to teach you the transitions that you need to. And then we are going to go into this freestyle kind of looping movement. The first round, you're going to be like, Sarah, you are mental. Second round is going to be like, Sarah, this is awesome. Third round, you're not even going to think anything because you're going to be so in tune with the body. And I think that's it. Oh, lastly, yes, music is my first love, and it goes perfect with a class like this. So there is a free playlist down below, which should go perfectly to the tune and the intensity of the class. And that is it. So now, guys, we're going to start off in a child's pose at the back of the mat. And really, I hope you enjoy this one, because I love it. So coming into that child's pose, just taking the knees super nice and wide, letting the hands come out in front of you. Bringing forehead down to the ground and to the mat, and just let out a breath. And finally, just arrive into this place and space. Feel where the body connects to the floor. And really just get a sense of gravity helping to ground you in this position. Start to lengthen each inhale and each exhale. Starting to pull that awareness into those internal sensations and feelings. This practice is going to be all about presence. So taking a few more breaths here. If you feel like you need to let a soft exhale out the mouth, please feel free to do so. If you feel like setting an intention for this practice, feel free to just let that word, that sensation, that intention wash over you right now. And then slowly we're going to begin to move. So push into the palms, rolling cat and cows, take an inhale. Arc through the spine, push forward into the hands. The exhale, drop in the belly, lifting the heart, keeping the joints soft, and then slowly pushing back into a seat. Few more like that. Let the inhales pull you forward. Let the exhales, sink you back. And as always, with this first movement, just see it as that first conversation with the body. So what needs to be felt? If you want to add any other motions, whether it's a sway from side to side in the hips, whether that's a barrel roll into the legs. Again, not rushing the start, just taking this time to start that dialogue. What needs to be felt? Where can I feel this? Or what needs to be released in order to feel a little bit more fluid on our mats today? Perfect. And then this time round, we're going to go a little bit bigger. So whenever you come forward, drop the hips, roll the shoulders, lift the heart into your first itty bitty cobra. Exhale, tuck the chin in towards the chest, and then slowly roll back in towards your child's pose. A few more like that. Inhale to ripple, roll through the spine. Exhaling, dropping the hips. Last thing to come up is the head and the neck. Then chin in towards the chest, slowly roll back. Perfect. Now we're going to add on from here. So inhale to roll through the spine. Drop the hips, lift the heart into that cobra, and just take a minute there. Use the exhale, bring the chest towards the floor. And then from here, hovering cobras. So push the feet into the floor, take an inhale, lift the chest up, lift the arms up, and then exhale to release and pull down. 2 more. Big breath in, lifting up. Arms come up. Exhale to bring it down. Last one, using the back line strength, glutes are squeezed, we're lifting the chest. Exhale, hands towards the floor, push back in towards your child's pose. Perfect. Just take a minute, let the lower back just kind of reset, feel that space in the shoulders. So we're going to start off in our first round here. Every round's going to get a little bit bigger, a little bit more expansive. So on your next inhale, roll the spine forward, come into what would be a modified plank. So drop the hips slightly, look forward, keep the core nice and tight, and pick the feet up in towards the glutes. I know. Now take a big breath in. As you breathe out, drop the feet towards the left-hand side, and then sweep that right arm up, right foot back, come into your first side plank. Take a moment there, readjust, make sure that weight's on top of that left palm, and give me just a few big circles with that top arm. So that first time here, just opening up nice and gradually. Really engage through the left fingers. We're going to need them in a minute. And then the next time you circle back, as the arm reach forward, reach that right leg up. Squeeze the outside of the glutes. The exhale, we're going to step the right foot forward, square the hips, both hands inside of that right foot lizard lunge. Take an inhale, let your heart lengthen forward. As you exhale, glide the hips back, what would be kind of like a modified half split. Few more like that. The inhale, we're dropping the hips, we're lifting the heart, finding space in the left thigh. The exhale, slowly coming back, space in that right hamstring. Give me a few more times. So just moving, grooving in towards those hips. And then the next time you straighten out through that right leg, I want you to hold it there. Now, it's not your traditional half split. The foot is a little bit towards the side, but that's good. That's where we want it. Notice the difference. Notice if you can lean into it a little bit more, or maybe even you want to lean out of it. So just take a moment, letting that right hamstring feel the love of your attention. And then finally, bend back through that right knee. Both hands come forward if they've moved. Tuck the left toes under. Pick up that left knee, push the left heel back, lengthen. So a nice active lizard. Now push into the floor with the palms, round the upper back. We're going 3-legged dog. Right leg sweeps all the way up and back on the breath in. The left knee can bend for a little bit extra room. Now just bend the right knee, open the hip, bring the right heel towards the left glute. Another little pause. Notice the sensation on that inner left thigh. Take one more breath, seeing it as the posture itself. And then as you exhale, slowly release. Right foot comes down, downward facing dog. Take your feet as wide as the mat, heels in, toes out. And just walk your hands back halfway. So we're going to go into little baby, I'm going to call them bouncing malasanas. So from here, take an inhale, come high up on the toes, push the weight into the hands. Then use your exhale to bring the heels to the floor to bend the knees. Sink the hips back. You're going to feel length in the spine, but also the opening in the hips. 2 more. The breath in, pushing forward into the palms, coming out of that intensity. The exhale, knees bend, heels towards the ground, take it low. And yes, that was my ankle cracking if you heard it. One more time, big breath in, bringing it forward. The exhale, bend the knees. Once the heels reach the floor, just walk the hands back towards the feet. Keep a nice kind of ragdolling position. Ground through the heels, slowly begin to rise. Keep the feet where they are. Perfect. As the shoulders roll back, you're going to keep right hand down to the hip and reach your left arm all the way up and over, side bend. Take an inhale. As you exhale, soften the knees, get low first. We're swinging. Left hand to the right thigh, right arm up. Give me a few more of these. I call them the drunken scarecrow. And just begin to notice how you have that stability, that grounding through the feet, but also that sensation of movement that's finding freedom, finding release through the sides of the body. Perfect. Just one more. Take it over to the left. And then exhale, bring the hands to the floor. You can straighten out the feet if it feels good. Come into a mini wide-legged fold. And just find the breath here. You can interlace elbows. For me, I like to rock from the heels to my toes. Just to feel that sensation, not only in the back of the legs, but what it's doing for my spine. Take one more big breath. And then gently begin to walk the hands forward. Hands come towards the top of the mat. We're only going to do little mini vinyasas today. So inhale, high up on the toes, ripple forward to the plank. Exhale, let the knees soften. Push the seat back towards the heels and lengthen the legs up. Just one more to get us in the child's pose. Inhale to come forward. This time as the knees drop, sink the seat back, come back. Sitting onto the heels, take a second. A pause. A breath. Coming on to the second round. So ground through the palms. Mini plank pose. Inhale, ripple the spine forward. As the weight comes forward into the hands, tuck the pelvis under, core nice and tight, pick up the feet. So we're balancing on the top of the knees. From here, push into the right palm. We're going to send the feet over to the right. As the feet drop, left foot can step back, left arm goes up. Vashisthasana, modified, whatever you want to call it. And as usual, just like we did on the opposite side, take that left arm, that top arm for a walk. So just opening and rounding. But again, notice where the weight is. Try and push more weight onto that right hand because we're going to need it for the stability a little bit later. Nice. And then next time that left arm shoots up, hold it there. Push the weight into the right palm, float that left leg, squeeze that left glute, get a little bit of activation. Look towards the front of the mat. Left foot comes forward. Give it a helping hand if you need to. Square the hips, both hands inside of that left foot, lizard lunge. And as usual, first time here, so just begin to rock and roll. So first of all, if you want to go into circles, getting into that lift hip, feel free. It might feel very different to the right. And then slowly, we're going to start moving forward and back. So dropping the hips, lifting the heart and the breath in. Use your exhale to glide the hips back. I say straighten the leg, but you can still have a bend. As long as there's a little bit of love in that left hamstring, you're all good. A few more. The inhale to pull forward. The exhale, pushing back. Good, 2 more. In your own breath, at your own pace. Don't think about where we're going next. Just think about the sensations that's present within the body. Next time you straighten out that left leg, hold it there. In a variation of half split that's probably very individual to you. Forget about executing it properly. Just think about, okay, what am I feeling here? How does my hamstring feel? Can I soften maybe in the shoulders to allow a little bit more depth? Take one more big breath. And then gently push forward into the palms. We're going to tuck the back toes under. Lift that right knee off the ground. So we're just charging that lizard lunge. You can give yourself a few little rock forwards and back. Just getting a little bit more into that hip. Now awareness into the palms, push the palms into the floor, round the upper back. Imagine hollowing out through the belly button to push and lift that left leg all the way up and back, 3-legged dog. Both knees can bend open through the hip, feel that space through the right hand side. Take a pause, a little breath, and then slowly both feet come down towards the back of the mat. Just like before, heels in, toes out. So feet nice and wide, hands are coming halfway. So a super short downward dog. The inhale, we come high up on the toes. The exhale, the heels push down, the knees bend out towards the side and we sink low. 2 more, big breath in, pulling it forward. Big breath out, pushing it back. One more, inhaling, bringing it forward. This time as the heels come down to the floor, walk the hands back, sink the hips down low into your variation of malasana. So for some of us, we might be here. Others, if you have the full kind of posture in your practice, you can sit down low. But wherever you are, push to the outside of the feet. Feel the inner thighs opening, but also the glutes kind of doing their work as well. Take 2 big breaths. Let the exhales be long. If you can't relax in the posture, you've gone too far. Nice. And then slowly, hands to the floor wherever you are, hips high, so we're coming into a fold. Now soften the knees, we're going to ripple and roll. So nice and slow. Stacking vertebra on top of vertebra. This time, once the shoulders roll back, bring the hands to the lower back. Just take a breath in, feel the release through the front of the body. Then exhale to Tadasana, back of the mat. Take a second. Close the eyes, bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. And already just begin to notice the difference of energy from when you started to now. If you set that intention, can you pull it into the body right now? Can you pull it into the practice? Taking one more breath. So we're going to take that flow and just add on quite a bit more. So from here, inhale, raise your arms up, gaze towards the thumbs. Exhale, that softening forward, knees can bend, hanging over the legs. Inhale to look forward and lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands, walk it out into your downward dog. Just like we did before, little half vinyasas. So inhale to ripple forward. Exhale, knees soften, send it all the way back. Good. Now this time we're going to make the side planks a little bit more fluid. So inhale, come forward in towards your plank pose. As you exhale, bring the knees to the floor. We're going to turn towards the left. So as the left foot turns, pick up the right foot, swing the right foot back, swing the right arm up on the inhale. Good. Now exhale, both knees come down, toes come down, send it back, downward dog. Opposite side, inhale, ripple forward. We're going to get used to this. Exhale, knees to the floor, turn to the right. Now send the hips back as the left foot goes back. Inhale to reach forward onto that right arm. Both knees come down, both hands come down, downward dog. One more each side. Inhale, ripple it forward. Exhale, knees to the floor, right foot, right hand behind you. Reach forward, push into the left. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more, and then we're going to add on. Inhale, ripple it forward. Exhale, knees to the floor, turn to the right, left hand behind you, push forward onto that right palm. Both hands come down, send it back, downward dog. Perfect. This one to move. So inhale, ripple it forward. Exhale, knees down, just like before. Right hand behind you, right hand back. Now this time, as you push forward, bring that right foot forward into that lizard lunge, just like before. Take an inhale, heart comes forward. Exhale, straighten out into that half split. Just one more here, big breath in. Sink the hips, lift the heart. Big breath out, straighten out through that right leg and just pause. Take a minute, try and get thighs towards belly. Notice my leg is a little bit bent, that's fine. We're going to add spirals here. So bring your right hand outside of that right foot and lift your left arm all the way up, side reach. Oh, feels so good, right? Now exhale, switch the direction. Left hand comes down. We're sweeping the right hand up, getting a little bit more love for the right hand side. Give me a few more. So just moving from left and right, keeping that stability within the lower body, but finding that freedom in the upper body. Of course, this is a point where you may want to use blocks, completely up to you. Perfect. Now next time, your left hand goes down, right arm goes up. Check this for a transition. Push into your left toes, pick your left knee up, then straight away turn towards the left-hand side, wide-legged forward fold. Ta-da! Take an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to soften, come down, take a minute. So always just using these pockets of stillness to notice the effects of the asanas on the body. Take one breath here. Then gently begin to bend the knees. We're going to ragdoll all the way up. So push the weight back into the heels, stacking vertebra on top of vertebra. Now as the shoulders roll, take an inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, back of the mat, left toes turn, bend the knee, warrior two. And just a few little itty bitty pulses here. So bending and straightening through that left leg. Feel the stability pushing down on that left heel. And the next time you bend the knee, hold it there. Imagine reaching your left arm forward. We're going to heel toe the back foot in. We're going to float it on up into a little itty bitty half moon. Now this foot doesn't have to go super high. I want you to focus on the stability of that standing leg, really grounding through the left heel. Take one more big breath. Then your left foot comes out towards the side. Take an inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, sink low into your malasana. Good. Weird transition. If that was weird for you, wait till you see this one. Once we get to the end of the flow, everything's going to be seamless, I promise. So from here, bring your right hand behind you. Ta-da! Right hand comes down. Now, as you lift the hips, send your right foot out. Ha-ha. Inhale, lift the hips up. It's kind of like a little baby wild thing, but we're going to keep turning back towards the front of the mat. So left hand comes down, left foot comes back, downward facing dog. Ha-ha! So nice, right? I'm going to come back into the mat. Now from here, second side, we're going to go straight away. One little rolling vinyasa, so inhale to pull it forward. Soften the knees, push back into your downward dog. Good. Side plank on the right, inhale, coming forward. Exhale, let the knees come down. This time, left foot behind you, left hand circles. Now inhale, push forward onto that right palm. Left hand comes down, left foot comes forward into that lizard lunge. Sink in the hips, lifting the heart on the breath in, the breath out to straighten out through that left leg. A few more. So just moving and grooving. Second time round is going to feel hopefully a little bit more fluid. And the next time you find that variation of half split, just take a little bit of a pause. Energetically pull front heel, back knee towards each other for that stable base. Now starting those spirals, left hand comes down, doesn't matter how far it is. We're going to push into the left arm, raise that right arm up, space through the right. The exhale to transition to the right hand side. So right hand down, left arm up, side reaching. Good, flossing into the sides of the hamstring. And again, just moving at your own pace. Noticing what feels good in the body. Maybe even noticing a part where you just want to breathe and pause for a second. Perfect. And the next time the right hand comes down, left arm goes up, hold it there for a breath. Just for a second. Then we're going to tuck the right toes. As you lift the right knee, we're turning towards the right hand side to come into your wide-legged fold on this side. Now, as we've already paused here to lengthen the hamstrings, if there's a different movement you want to do, whether that's a little bit of Skandasana pulses, feel free. For me, I did a lot of deadlifts yesterday, so this feels like absolute heaven and hell at the same time. If you want to feel more for the ankles, push to the outside of the feet, by the way. Good. Wherever you are, movement or in stillness, just take one big deep breath. And then gently making your way through center, You can soften the knees, slowly begin to rise, so that rippling and rolling up, just like before. This time, as the arms roll back, take your hands high, turn your right toes towards the back of the mat. Bend through that right knee. Think warrior two, but think of it again as just an activation for this right leg, because now we know what we're going to do with it, right? We know we're about to balance. So next time you bend the knee, ground through that right heel. Really grip the floor with the toes. Imagine leaning forward. Heel toe that left foot in. Little itty bitty half moon. Doesn't matter how big and expressive it is. It matters how stable it is. This is where we can find the freedom a little bit later. One more big breath. Then left foot comes down. Raise your arms back of the mat on the breath in. As you breathe out, bend the knees, sink low, malasana. Whew, weird transition. If I have room for this, it's going to be a miracle. Left hand comes behind you. So you can sneak the left hand back and bring your butt back as well, by the way, to make it more accessible. Left foot extends. You're going to push through your right heel, your left heel, and your left arm to lift your hips, kind of like a little baby wild thing. Keep turning back towards the front of the mat, twisting out into your downward facing dog. If you've come off the mat, it really doesn't matter, but for YouTube, I think it does for me. Now inhale, ripple the spine forward. Exhale this time, let the knees come down. Sink back in towards your seat. Crown of the head comes down, or if you feel better, taking rest seated upright, you can do. And just take a moment. Scan the body from the crown of the head to the tips of the toes. Release those little areas of tension that kind of automatically show up. Taking a big breath in. Long exhale out. And then slowly blink the eyes open. So this is now when we flow into our loop. First round, you're going to be like, Sarah, what are you doing? Second round, you're going to be like, I get this. Third round, it should feel like a moving meditation. Everything we need, we've already done. So it's just putting it together and getting our thoughts out the way so we can just really experience and love the movement. Doesn't matter what it looks like. I don't care about your alignment. I just care even that you are 100% in the body, feeling the body and its sensations. So that being said, let's start off in our downward dog. We're going to stay on the right-hand side for 3 rounds, by the way. So just like you did before, take an inhale, roll the spine forward. Now we can go towards those side planks so the knees can drop, or if you want a little bit extra this round, turn the heels towards the side, then bend the knees, sweep the right hand back to the mat, push into that left arm and rise. Now bring it back to plank and come into your downward dog. Good. We're going to do that once more on the same side, just so we get comfortable. Inhale, ripple and roll the spine. Exhale, heels towards the left. Sink the knees back. Reach right foot, right hand back. Inhale to push forward. Exhale, downward dog. Perfect. Now coming in and transitioning from here. Inhale, ripple, roll the spine forward, taking it further. Heels or knees to the left. Bend, right hand goes back, take an inhale, reach forward, right foot steps forward. Now keep the energy coming forward. Bring your right hand down, left arm up, half moon. Squeeze the outside of the left glute, get expansive here, find space. Soften the right knee, step that left foot all the way back. Now as you windmill your arms, reach your arms up high, turn your toes to the wide side of the mat, take an inhale. Exhale, side bend to the left. So we're going to take 3 big circles here. Reaching the hands towards the floor on the breath out. And then inhale, arms come high on the breath in. Give me 2 more. Super nice and slow. Let the knees go soft. And again, just appreciate the different sensations that the spiral movement brings into the body. Perfect. Give me 1 more. Take an inhale. As you come up this time, turn your left toes out, push into that left foot, half moon at the back. Just for a breath. Right foot comes down, sink low into that malasana. The inhale, right hand behind you, right foot extends. Take it into that wild thing. Exhale, switch it out, downward dog. Perfect. Same flow, 3 more times. Inhale, ripple, roll the spine forward. Heels to the left, side plank in stillness, or bend the knee, sink low. As you inhale, windmill forward. Right foot comes forward, doesn't have to be at the top. Right hand down, left leg high, half moon on the breath in. Soften through that right leg. We're stepping back with the left arm. Wide fold spirals, parallel the feet as the arms come high. The exhale, we're softening deep, finding space through the sides of the body. Inhale to lift it up. Exhale to slowly bring it down. Last one. Bringing it all the way up. Knees can soften. Feel that shift of weight. Then after your third spiral, as the arms come high, we turn in the left toes to the back, bend the knee, reach it on up into that little balancing half moon. Both feet come down to the back of the mat. Take an inhale, arms high. Exhale, malasana, sink low. Right hand behind you, right foot in front of you. Inhale, lift it up into that wild thing. Exhale, twist it back, downward facing dog. Perfect. One more in this side. Inhale, rippling, rolling. Side plank variation. Sending it back. Step forward, half moon. Opening up and out. Find the balance, that graceful step back into your wide-legged spirals. If you want a little bit of stillness here, feel free. If you're coming with me, keeping those spirals up, noticing how each round, maybe you're finding a little bit more depth. Perfect. And then after your third one, as you reach up, turn the left toes towards the left, bend the knee, little baby malasana. Right foot down, arms high on the breath in. Malasana sinks you down. Right hand behind you. Right foot in front of you. Weird transition. Find that wild thing. Exhale. Take it back. Downward facing dog. Perfect. Now inhale to ripple. Roll the spine. Exhale. Soften the knees. As you push the weight back, walk the hands back to the back of the mat. Take a forward fold. Let the spine decompress. And then gently begin to rise, ripple and roll the spine, coming all the way up. Arms go high on the breath in. Breathe out. Draw the hands, pass them through the heart, let them rest, or come into Tadasana. Let out an exhale. Plug in to the beat of the heart. Begin to notice how, even in movement, we can find this sense of stillness, this sense of unity between the breath, the body, and the flow. If you're loving it, congratulations. We've got 3 rounds on the left to go. So everyone just take an inhale through the nose. Sigh it out through the mouth. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, coming down. Breathe it in to lengthen. Breathe out, walk it out, downward dog. So getting used to those side planks first on the right hand side. So inhale, ripple the spine forward towards your plank. Exhale, take the heels towards the right. Then sink the butt down towards the back of the mat. Circle the left arm back. Lift that left leg on the breath in, pushing forward. Breath out to plank and downward dog. 2 more. Inhale, rippling it forward. Exhale, feet towards the right, bend the knees. Left hand, left foot to the back. Inhale, push forward on that right palm. Exhale, plank and downward dog. This one to move. So inhale, ripple it forward. Exhale, side plank to the right, left hand, left foot behind you. Now, as you reach forward, pull that left foot in towards the top of the mat. Turn the hips, left hand down, stacking that right hip on top of the left half moon. Then exhale, big step back. Windmill the arms, turn towards the right this time, and just let that spiral carry you into those 3 wide-legged folds. Link the movement with the breath. And if you're moving at a different tempo to me, then good. Taking 1 more, wherever you are. And then the next time you pass over the top of the body, turn the right toes to the back, hop on up into that half moon. Just for a breath. Left foot comes down, take an inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, bend the knees, malasana. Weird transition wild thing. Left hand behind you. Left foot extends, push the hips up on the inhale. Exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. Perfect. 2 more times. Roll the spine forward in towards your plank. Heels towards the right, push towards the back of the mat. Lift that left arm and left leg, left foot steps forward, half moon, swizzling through the hips, pushing the floor away, finding length. Right foot steps behind you, that windmill, the legs straight, and we're finding space at the top of that action. And then we're exhaling, we're finding depth all the way into the bottom. 2 more, moving slow. Maybe this time round, connecting to the feet. Notice how the slight shifts away and its effects on the outside of the ankle, even into the calf. And then on your next one, no rush. As the arms come up, turn the right toes towards the back, bend the knee, open it up, little baby half moon. Left foot comes down. Whoops, she says. Inhale, send the arms up. Exhale, knees bend, come low. Left hand behind you. Left foot in front of you. Inhale, lift the hips up high. Twisting back towards the front. We've got 1 more round. Inhaling, rippling and rolling. Exhale, side plank to the right. Bend the knees, sink towards the back. Push forward, left foot comes forward. Left hand comes down, pushing the floor into that half moon. Right foot steps behind. Take an inhale, send your arms all the way up. Exhale to bring it down. Last 2. Move slow. Enjoy them because you know that the end is nearly there. Perfect. Take 3 complete rounds. And then the next time those arms come all the way up and above, turn the toes, bend the knee, reach forward. Little baby half moon. Completing the sequence, left foot down, inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, knees bend, come low. Left hand behind you. Left foot in front of you. Inhaling to lift the hips. Exhale to turn it back into that downward dog. Perfect. 1 little baby vinyasa. Inhale to roll in it. Exhale, soften the knees, send it back, downward dog. Now for child's pose. Inhale to ripple. Exhale, knees down. Spread the knees wide, bring the toes to touch. Completely release down. Let the breath go. Close the eyes. Just notice how the body is always working for you. The heat of the skin, the quickening of the heart and the breath. There's a time of the class where we just start to soften. Just take a moment to breathe in and out the mouth naturally. Let the breath be a complete response to the body's needs. And then inhale, push into the palms. Roll the spine forward. As you come forward, pull the right knee in between the hands. Take the foot out to the side and come into a pigeon pose. So whatever you want your pigeon pose to look like, I'm good with. Even if it means hanging out on that right leg, bringing your right foot a little bit more forward to get that extra glute stretch, feel free. This may not look like pigeon, but I'm telling you it feels 100 times better than pigeon. And then wherever you found the spot you want to release to, whether that looks something like me or something like your traditional variation, it's totally okay. Deepen the breath. Let the body get heavy. Noticing that all the hard work is completely done. And one more big breath. And inhale then to just slowly rise wherever you are. If you haven't already, lean into that right hip, turn to the length side of the mat and pull your right foot in towards your left thigh. Good. Lengthening through the spine, send your arms out wide. Left hand comes under to the ribs. Keep the elbow and chest in line with that left leg as you slowly take your right arm all the way up and over. So grounding through that right hip, finding that space through the right hand side. Now if this feels like way too much effort for you today, it kind of does for me, you can drop your hands to the middle and turn it into kind of like a half-seated wide-legged fold. Ooh. You're going to still feel it on that left-hand side. Wherever you are, just take a few more breaths. Think of this kind of effortless effort within the body. And then inhale. As you rise up wherever you are, bring the right hand behind the hip, send your left arm up. Little baby wild thing. We've done a little bit of back bends, not much, so just take a moment there, leaning back, opening through the hip flexor, just enjoying the openness of it, forgetting about going too far. Good. And then exhale, look back towards the front, pivot on your left foot, send it back, downward dog. We're going to go straight away, opposite side. So left knee comes in, left foot goes out to the right, come down. Regular pigeon, or if you want to lean off to one side to get more of an angle on that front foot, it's always an option. My hamstrings feel gross and fabulous here at the same time, so if you're feeling that, then I'm with you. Tension check. Try and make your exhales twice as long as the inhales. Trying to pinpoint where exactly the body is resisting, and if we can soften into that resistance a little bit. Take 2 more breaths. And slowly, just lifting up from wherever you are. We're turning towards the right, so we're pulling that left foot in towards your right thigh. Just like we did before, 2 options. Arms out to the side. Right hand can go under, left arm can go over for that side bend variation, or you can let the hands drop inside of the legs to that weird wide-legged. I don't even have a name for it, eh? But as long as it feels good, we're all good. Soften. Tension check jaw, shoulders. And what's great about maybe not performing the same shapes is you get a totally different experience of the body, because there's just so much to learn and feel within these fabulous little machines. And then inhale into rise. Left hand sweeps behind you, right arm sweeps up. Your last little bitty back bend, squeezing the glutes, leaning back, feeling that openness through the chest, the stability through the legs. And then exhale, drop the hips to the floor once more. Sweep the legs out in front of you and come to lay down upon your back. So knees can come in or feet can be planted. And just take a minute on the back with the spine just lengthening into the floor to ask yourself, okay, what do I need now to make my Shavasana sweeter? It could be a spinal twist. It might be a happy baby pose. For others, maybe plow, back bends. And I invite you to just take one more asana to really release into the body, to make that Shavasana feel a little bit more sweeter. If you are twisting or doing something that's one-sided, make sure you switch the sides. And then whenever you're ready, just coming into that sweet, sweet Shavasana, whatever that looks like for you. Let out a breath. Let the body just melt into the earth, completely letting go, and completely surrender.